Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the Sour Graps post NXT thing, Heatwave edition. I'm your host, Alex Pulaski, and everything sucks. And with me, as always, is Kate.
I am here for your NXT Heatwave post show here on July 7th. You are on a hate wave for sure.
Hate wave for me. Hate wave, but
yeah. I have mostly good, but some nitpicks for sure. But you, my friends, you can get at your super chats and your humper chats at humperchats.com. Please leave a thumbs up on this video. It helps us greatly when people are looking for NXT reviews. They can come and find us. They can see our cool old logo, but they can see our cool new logo. More importantly, so much to be had also on Fightful Select. Go to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe. Boy, howdy, the contract news just doesn't stop on FightfulSelect.com. There's also so much more going on. Rights updates, more news coming out of the pay-per-view. John Cena's return. If you were on FightfulSelect.com, you knew he was in Toronto first. So head over to FightfulSelect.com. And you also got me and Alex talking about how Money in the Bank was. Money in the bleh last night in a lot of ways for us yesterday, outside of Tiffy winning. But we're a little bit more at odds because Alex is a endings pervert mostly. And also just in general, if one thing sucks, then everything sucks. Where I have a little bit more like wiggle room. Yeah. But Alex, Ethan Page is our new champion.
Yeah. But at what cost?
Well, we're going to talk all about that. But
at what cost? Okay. The cost of my sanity. That's first.
The cost of did you have your sanity this weekend to start? I feel like last night put us to the curve a little bit already. We were going into this compromised sanity.
Yeah.
It is also, by the way, just very weird to be starting this post show almost a half hour before we start our NXT regular post show. That's just an odd thing, but we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to get into this. One title change and some other really, how many times do we say this? Great in-ring with stories or bad stories. That's the story of NXT PLEs. The in-ring always shows out.
But here's something. It was 5 matches, 2.5 hours, not 3 hours. So that extra half hour of not commercials really made this feel better. Like, yes, I'm so sick of the people, literally the slurping noises at thank you, Papa H, for giving me 5-match 3-hour shows. Oh, thank God I don't have to watch more wrestling on your shows that you give us, Triple H. I love you so much. I just, like, you don't want, like, listen, I'm not saying 15 is the optimum number.
Certainly not.
7 sounds better. On a 3-hour show, maybe more than half of it shouldn't be entrances and video packages or, for the cheapskates, commercials. And this didn't feel like that.
No, the pacing of this was a lot better. The match order was really good. And overall, like, I think yesterday started with a mostly terrible first half of the card from a booking perspective.
Yeah.
And then picked up toward the end. This started with, to me, what was the match of the weekend, and then kind of went downhill a little bit. And this is the second pay-per-view where things just got weird. Like, some stuff was just plain weird.
Yeah. Chris Perez says, won't be watching until later when I get home. Chris Perez was there. That was fun. I get it if it wasn't great on TV, but the live experience was really enjoyable. Toronto seemed to be having a blast, and that's always good.
Always that rule, good. And way better than the UFC Apex, whatever the hell.
I wish I could look past things and just have a good time and say, oh, well, that one thing that happened I really didn't like, but that doesn't affect my entire overall enjoyment. I wish I was that person. I am very much not. and that's my cross to bear, and apparently all of yours because you're watching me talk about it.
Well, first of all, I'm glad you're not that way because job security, but also if you were any other way, Alex, we would not be
Right. This.
Look at my earrings. I just keep going back to my
They're
earrings.
so good. They're so good.
Look how luscious your beard is.
It's wonderful.
Ugh.
Honestly, it's I've never been able to get the mustache and the beard to connect. So already, I mean, like that's as good as I've ever looked.
Take all
So,
the vowels
yeah.
out because you leveled up your
No,
facial
I
hair
did.
situation.
I did. Tony P says, "How was this better than Money in the Bank?" Well, that's a very low bar to clear. Also, the NXT title match was good. I love the Ego won it. Yeah, but like at what
Unconsciously,
cost?
he won it.
My one complaint though, why did Shawn stop Trick from breaking the pin? Oh boy. He wasn't trying to help Ego, it seems, from the way he looked after. No, it was just a really terribly laid out end of the match entirely in every way. So yeah.
It was weird because, and we'll get into this, but
Mm-hmm.
I like Ethan Page winning.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trick desperately needs to be chasing. His reign was in the mud.
Yep.
He's great. He's over. The booking was not supporting his reign at all. So I think him having some juice behind him is a very good thing. Weird execution at the end of this. And Ethan Page, who I'm gonna rave about, having his finisher kicked out of and then unconsciously winning. Not the way you book like an incoming strong star who's great. Like he's not compensating for anything. He's wonderful at this. Just let him max out his potential. Somebody in the world, some wrestling promotion, please. Let this guy be what he's capable of.
Doc Chris Mueller says, "Who made your no logo?" It was, of course, Lieutenant Photo.
Doc Mueller, I'm so glad you're here because I have my "What's Up, Doc" shirt on.
Very good. And Doc asks if we're doing puns. Well, heat puns, things that are hot, or summer puns, or whatever.
Yeah, good? definitely heat temperature related.
Yeah, heat puns. Yeah. Well, Ryan Cicchini says best WWE event this year. I'd have to go back and look at all of them, but considering how I feel right now, I would say that can't be true. But I don't know if anything was good. You know,
I mean, night 2 of Mania I thought was pretty solid, and I'm trying to think if I could remember Stand and Deliver better, but that was one of those
Stand and Deliver was probably better.
Yeah, I feel
it had Ilya on the card, so like
Ilya, that triple threat, like there was a lot of. I feel like Stand and Deliver probably was, but it should be because that's their biggest.
Stand and Deliver was to me way better than this. Now that I'm thinking about what was on that card, but it's to each their own. We'll talk more about everything else that people have been super chatting so far because it kind of dives in a lot to the main event. Arianna Grace and Karmen Petrovic defeated Jacy, Jayne, and Jazmyn Nyxx. Arianna Grace, Arianna Venti, as we call her, got a very good reaction in Toronto. That was nice, or Tirana. That was nice. But one when like pulled Jazmyn Nyxx's hair to allow Karmen Petrovic to get the rollover pin, like little reversed roll up. It was nice. It's fine. Later in the night, lest we believe that, this might be the beginning of something, it is 100% now just for Tirana.
Well, it's the beginning of something between the 2 tag team members.
I mean, yeah, that's is the beginning of a tag team run. No.
There's no tag belts.
Arianna Venti says, I cannot allow myself to be held back by somebody like you. And Ava says, "Great, then you two will face each other on Tuesday." So,
and she was like, "She's really give her as many reps as she needs to be serviceable enough on the main roster. She could tag with Chelsea Green." Was my big takeaway from this. Like, also, this was they called it the kickoff match, pre-show match, whatever. This is a perfectly fine spot to have somebody go over in their hometown for something that isn't the most substantive program in the world. Like, I'm good with that. She seemed very genuinely moved, which was like I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So good on her. She's really got the character stuff down, and I'm looking forward to seeing how her progress in the ring comes along, because I think once it catches up, she's gonna be able to play an excellent role on the main roster with or without Chelsea. I think she'll have like a very fun role up there, especially now since Wendy Chu is demon doll, sleep paralysis demon. Like, I thought she would kind of be like another comedic shot to the main roster who can really go, but now she is a crazy little weirdo.
Yeah. So there was that. Also on the pre-show, they had Chase U backstage just hanging out, and then Thea Hale got a call from Ridgie. And he confirms that he is not actually going to be there, and yet I still thought he was lying.
As did I. Yeah, that almost told me he was gonna be there.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. Maybe he's so dangerous. Don't you understand that they won't allow
like
him
Jacob Fatu?
Jacob Fatu, apparently less dangerous than Ridge Holland. Not allowed across the border. Yeah.
I will also say this about Karmen Petrovic. If you can bring a sword to the ring, bring a sword to the ring. Like, there are two people that bring swords to the ring.
Yeah.
Nobody ever seems to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Bring a sword if you can.
Yeah.
And Chase U we'll talk about later, because that went in a different direction than I thought it was. I think refreshingly if they followed up properly.
Yeah. So best match on the card by default, simply because Oba Femi was in it and won. But it's refreshing to not have to see him keep track of multiple opponents.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna have a guy who's literally half his size get in a whole bunch of offense on him, then Wes Lee, quote unquote, the greatest North American champion of all time, though I would quibble, is the right guy to do that. You know what I mean? So
100%.
So the stuff that we saw, and it allows, you to see how Oba works in a one-on-one situation against a guy much smaller than him, which will be the case for most of his career. This is all we can forget about. He's had like 25 matches in his whole life.
Yeah.
So like he's still learning, but he's in an incredible position and keeps getting better and better. At one point, he did not do an F5; he did a damn F50.
Yeah,
like
F5 cajillion.
I've never seen a man thrown that high and that far in the spinny way.
Wes Lee's got nothing on a couch. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I really, really liked this match. I thought both of them were excellent. It was in the beginning just Wes Lee getting his ass kicked, and he plays a great baby face in Peril. I really liked the first Hope spot that we got, where it was just like a cool spot in the ropes where he saw an opening and he took it. Like that's how that should work. And he was so great at being so desperate. Like, I'm never not rooting for Oba Femi, but I was also rooting for Wes Lee in that moment. Then the tide turned probably a little bit too much. Like, I think Oba Femi this early probably should be maybe a little bit more protected, but that's me quibbling a little bit. To me, this was match of the weekend. I adored what we got here. Oba Femi, man, just yeeting Wes Lee a few times in this. And Alex, I'm gonna have to ask you to get a vase. I'm gonna need you to put some water in the vase. Those little packets of Miracle Grow in that vase, because I'm about to give you your flowers. All right.
Well,
and I know you love compliments, so here you go. But I'll do it in a not that heavy-handed way. There are some people that you catch very early and are just right about.
This is true.
Oba Femi, Swerve is probably your best use case to this point. Oba Femi, you saw that guy before he was on this run. he had like 2 appearances and one cool vignette, and you were like, that guy's a generational talent. And you were right. And it's been backed up ever since. And now everybody's on the Oba train. But you saw it really, really early. And it was the same with Julius Creed. Like, you identified it very, very, very early. Like, that guy, I mean, they haven't done shit with him on the main roster. But, like, there are certain people that you detect very early. I would argue Mustafa is one of them, too. He's the biggest independent draw since Cody, as reported by FightfulSelect.com. So that's like the fun part of this, of reviewing NXT, I feel like, is when we get to see those things. We caught up with Tiffany too, like when she started to come along. That's the fun stuff, and really refreshing to see a one-on-one match. Like, the triple threats have been really, really good, but like, he's so new at this and so early in cementing who he is while he's excellent at it. That like a one-on-one story where it's classic monster versus desperate babyface who's really good. Sometimes like the simple stuff is just the best. And I would argue even his moveset is actually pretty fundamental. It's just extraordinarily well done because of his size and his ability. So this was, to me, my favorite match of the night, my favorite match of the weekend for WWE. I haven't gotten to catch up on Collision. I haven't collided yet, but this was, to me, my favorite thing.
It's only a minor quibble.
That's the sour grapes, baby. Quibble away.
I mean, I thought maybe the finish should have been Wes Lee does the frog splash, and he just catches him while he's lying there, picks him up by the throat, wakes him up, powerbomb. Like that, because him catching him by the throat and picking him up, and then immediately Wes Lee gets out of it. I was like, whoa, hey, no, that was special. That was a really special. I don't see anybody who takes a frog splash and ends up in control of the dude who frog splashed them by the throat. I've never seen that before. Don't waste that. Make that a major moment in the match, if not the finish. The finish is fine. He hits him with a power bomb and he smashes him through the.
No, you're right.
It's great. You know what I mean?
You're right.
It wasn't as impactful as, imagine that being a highlight of Oba Femi going into the Hall of Fame. That guy got frog splashed and then took the frog splasher by the throat, picked him up with a choke, slammed him into position of the power bomb, and put him through the damn ring. Like, to me, I feel like there was an option for something really special to happen, and they just use it as a weird transition into a like reversal thing. So
that's extremely fair, and I like the idea of the person getting offense and being a frog splasher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah. So Lieutenant Colonel Photo says, is the words of Hank Hill, taste the meaty men slapping meat, not the heaty men slapping heat. Mrs. Lieutenant Photo is sometimes quite a legend. She is.
It certainly seems it.
Very good. Okay. Ryan Cicchini says, this is open up Oba and Trick for CW. Oh, like for the first CW show in October or whenever that is?
That could be.
I mean, maybe if Trick gets his title back by then. I mean, I guess Trick could come after Oba's title, but that's not happening. So like, I don't know if we want to beat Trick Williams in the opening episode, but you know,
if he were to be going up, losing to Oba Femi on your way up is a pretty cool way.
I guess. They made such a big deal about all these call-ups. I'm like, every time somebody gets brought up not at the Royal Rumble or at the draft, I'm like, what are you going to do with them though?
I mean, they don't even have answers for that at the draft.
I know, but like, I feel like it's much more likely for them to have some kind of plan for somebody if they get called up at a specific time than just like Halloweenish. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel, especially because he's not very spooky.
He's
you know?
not spooky, so he has that going against him for sure.
Right.
But he does have trick or treat like in the bag, so it's a toss up there.
Honestly, where does Trick Williams go next question is a huge one coming out of the main event. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like what is he doing now? Is he just going to get his title back?
I think he's going to face Ethan Page for it. I don't know if he gets it back, but an unconscious man took his title today. Yeah, he should probably have an issue with that.
Don't get me
But
started.
It does seem like they might have a Javon Evans title adjacent feud from the moment that got set up in the match earlier. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. This is true. Bad Apple Gem Treebeard says Oba doing a jolly little dance during his entrance before he's about to commit murder is quite the sight to see. So not only does he have the whatever he does before he starts walking, when he actually starts walking, it's this. And I just want that, whether you're the brother or whether you're the mother, you're staying alive. Because it just feels like he's just jauntily going down the sidewalk, and I want to know what's playing in his earbuds. I need that.
I also meant to mention Mike Rome, who's now doing the NXT announcing, really good Oba Femi intro, because I feel like the temptation is to go Oba Femi, but he got this like Oba Femi. It's really, really good. It has like some distinction to it. I loved what he gave us tonight.
Yeah. Tim McFall says, looking forward to the sourness, but I can't be sour. I guess what he means.
You don't have to.
I kind of love that show. It was a ton of fun. There was a ton of variety, stakes. The ladies killed it, and an absolute star-making performance by Javon.
But we are here to ruin that for you.
Right. No, this is what I said. I said this to you, okay, before we went on the air. I said, I'm going to make everybody hate this show. I'm going to make them hate me. And I'm sorry, but that is one of those two things has to happen. Either I'm going to convince you to not like the show, or you're going to hate me by the end of this, because so endeth the positive things I have to say about any of these matches. Because remember, and this is the rule, many of you have been here for months, if not years. If there's one thing wrong with the match sucks. And I can't change that about the way I think of things. So if you're surprised that I didn't love this entire event, well, I'm sorry. But there's just stuff about this, including literally one maneuver in this next match we're going to talk about, that still has me seething with rage.
Oh, man. And we'll talk about it in a second. I have entirely different problems with this, and it has nothing to do really with what we got in the ring tonight. My problem with this is this was an incredible wrestling exhibition match. This was not a title defense. This was not a champion's first proper title feud. This was not a historic champion's first proper title feud. It was really poorly built, and they both showed up tonight. Like, they were great in ring, but you can't tell a story in ring when there's no story to tell, because Alex, as we talked about on Tuesday, gymnastics,
friendship. Did you see the video package of Kelani and Ruca as training partners in the gym that they showed? They were in the hotel gym. They were doing they were each other's little spot partners, doing all these like fun little gymnastics training stuff, and like doing headstand push-ups and weird little bring your legs up and then do a pull-up kind of a thing, and then weird like isometric, like you're gonna try and like balance yourself on my body as I hold you up and everything, and they're just smiling through the whole thing. Gosh, so much heat for this match, which was made because like Kelani was like, I would really like to face my friend for this title. And they're like, you can only face her if you beat Arianna Grace, who is canonically the worst wrestler we have on the roster. And like, because that's how they book her. So Ruca did that. And then they had competing vignettes, which were the same vignette, and the same vignette was like gymnastics. Inspirational quote by an NBA Hall of Famer, more gymnastics. And then they showed them training together. There's no heat. It's not like I want to be the best, and if I have to go through you, my friend, to do it, then I will. And I don't apologize for that. Not even that. Nothing.
Well, just Alex, because they weren't friends until it was convenient for them to be friends.
Two good buddies out there competing. And it felt like they were both doing amazing things that I was watching, and because gymnastics. Like at no point did it feel like they wanted to beat each other.
No,
it just felt like it did. I don't want to beat you. I would like to win this match. If it's possible for me to win this match without beating you, I would like to do that. And that makes for a really boring match, no matter how many flippy doos you do.
This was a story of friend gymnastics. This was gymnastics and friendship. This was like two extremely well-trained professional wrestlers that can do some amazing moves. There is, as an in-ring story pervert, it was hard for me to get into other than being impressed by the athleticism that was very obvious and incredibly well executed. But it wasn't even a story of friendship, Alex, because they retconned the friendship to fit the story because they had no story. There's no emotional investment. The only thing we know about them is gym and sometimes gymnastics. They have one thing in common, and it's a hobby. And there were no on-screen segments. They were never backing each other up at points in that, they're not friends. They just put together a video package because there was no story to this, which is unfair to them because they're both very good. Like Sol Ruca is great at this point.
Right.
Kelani Jordan, first title feud, historic title win.
Yeah.
Great in the ring. I have no idea who you are. I just don't. Other than the window that we got into, I've had this pressure on me all my life and I'm going to deliver again. There's no... Did you feel like the pressure she was under was cracking at any point in this? Because I didn't get that.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
Like that's the thing that separates a really... That's what, for me, separates a very good match from a great match. Is that exact thing. And that's tough because they showed out.
This was a tremendous exhibition of athleticism. At no point was it a wrestling match. Even the 450 buckshot lariat was great, but like there was no I'm gonna knock your fucking head off. I don't care if we're friends and training partners. I'm gonna knock your fucking head off because I'm gonna become Women's North American Champion. That has to be in a match like this, and it was never in this. Never, not once. And I was like, I needed that one moment where it got chippy. Sure. And all of a sudden, like, okay, now it's on. They never did it. It was like, how can we basically turn the phrase "friendship is magic" into a wrestling match? And it never became that. It was just, like I said, a fantastic exhibition of athleticism. And
there wasn't even like a moment before the 450 buckshot lariat, which was cool as hell, where she was like, I don't want to have to do this kind of thing. You know what I mean? There was just, because they didn't give them anything. There was no story going into this.
Right.
So it was, I mean, when you start the program with, I want a drama-free title reign, I'm pretty checked out. Right. And you're not going to win me back over in 2 weeks from that.
I want a drama-free title reign. Let me face my best friend and let us never at any point try to beat the other one. Yeah. That's a recipe for some pretty boring stuff, no matter, again, how athletic both of them are, and they are incredibly athletic.
Yeah.
Like some amazing stuff that happened in here.
And I think Sol Ruca is a really good in-ring storyteller too, but she did not have a story to tell. Because even their friendship there's nothing you could call back to as friends because they retconned the friendship.
Right.
There was no previous spots where one of them saved another from a move. And then this time she was going to have to be the one to deliver that move. There was no meat on the bone for this, and there wasn't much they could do other than this.
We've seen Kelani be friends with two people. Neither of them are Solo Ruca.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've seen her on screen be friends with Tiffany Fallon, and that fell apart because Tiffany Fallon, my God, I always do that. Fallon Henley. And Thea Hale. And so she was friends with them, but secretly off screen, she was best friends with Sol Ruca, is what we are led to believe. And I feel like that's weird.
Girls, you gotta assert your standards. If somebody's keeping you a secret, okay, that's not a good friend. But
right.
Alex, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like we were not hooked. We were not hooked by this match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you someone who's all about hooks, and that's Matthew Hooks of hookedinvoiceovers.com. We have told you all about Matthew Hooks before, okay? We have told you about how he can do commercial work and narration work, and that he has his studio, and that he's worked with world-class brands before, and that he has a super cool website. And now I'm going to show you that super cool website so you can go over and be like, oh my gosh, what a fantastic thing. If I want to contact Matthew Hooks, look at this. Can you see it? Can you see it?
I can't see it.
Can the audience see it? Is it not working?
I don't know. I don't see anything. Are you trying to show something?
I'm trying to share the cool website. Okay.
I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Is it that
now
it?
Do you see it? Yeah.
I mean, you did
get your quote here.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get. Come on. Okay, let's get rid of this thing. I'm moving this out of the way here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. For Matthew Hooks. There you go.
For Matthew Hooks. Voiceovers to hook your audience. His demos are there. You can book a chat for him. You can get a quote. You can learn about his studio, all of his vocal styles and genres. And you can check out his social media as well. Look at all these incredible brands.
That's amazing.
He's worked with. Read all about his story. Head over to hookedinvoiceovers.com. It's fancy. It's cool. It's an awesome site that was worth getting my screen share options ready for you.
Yeah.
My internet is even holding up, so it's a great site.
That is impossible. So
that has never happened before. So it is a blessing to head over to hookedinvoiceovers.com. We are big proponents of voiceovers on this show. We do world-class work ourselves. We definitely don't do a bunch of weird stuff. We basically do the same thing. But head on over to Hooked In Voiceovers. Check out his fancy website. Learn all about his great work. If you need a voice for your business, Matthew Hooks is the guy to consult about that.
Yeah.
So
I like this one. Hooks and Lieutenant Colonel Photo should tag the AV Club. It's perfect.
Oh, let's go. I'm so in on that idea.
That's awesome. Let's do that. Okay. So, let's talk about why I ended up hating this match.
Sure. That's what we did.
Early on in the match, Sol Ruca ends up with Kelani Jordan on her shoulders in Poison Rana position. And so Kelani Jordan snaps off a not vicious, because they weren't actually trying to hurt each other, but a very impressive looking Poison Rana. Okay?
Yes.
Later in the match, at the end of the match, she ends up in the same position and tries it again. But this time, Sol Ruca is smart enough to grab the ropes so she can't be pulled over. Then she says, I know what I shall do now that I have stopped her from using the Poison Rana. If I climb the ropes with her in this exact position, there's no way she'll try that move a third time and hit it a second, but this time off the top rope. That'll never happen. Oh, whoops, I lost. And one thing I never thought about Sol Ruca before this match was that she was stupid. But the booking of this match tells me she's stupid, because she already did it to you once. Then, like 2 seconds ago, she tried to do it to you a second time and you thwarted it.
So I know I'm going to put myself in a position for her to do it to me again, but this time it'll hurt more. That's dumb. Don't do that. Like, apparently you say it's a callback to Bayley and Sasha, but the very important, crucial detail that separates the two is that Sasha and Bayley were fighting on the top rope, and Bayley, in an act of desperation, quickly got around to the position and hit the thing before Sasha even knew what was happening. Like, literally, Kelani's just like, oh my God, she's lifting me up higher so I can do this move where it will hurt her more. And I'm like, I don't understand why you have somebody who seems like she's got it together to be like, my component did this to me once. She tried to do it to me a second time, but I stopped her. I'm going to put her, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put her in the position to do it to me a third time, but in a way that will hurt me more. Little things like that take me right out of it. And I don't understand why that was. You could have figured out a way for her to do the exact same move without Sol Ruca climbing the ropes to do, I guess, an electric chair drop. But like,
I mean, that was my thinking, was that the electric chair drop is helped by her getting on the ropes, but it's not justifiably helped by her getting on the ropes. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Like she's not falling that much. It's not making enough of an impact to justify taking the risk as a smart wrestler for that to then happen to you again. So if the idea was it's more impactful for the electric chair part, which I think is what they were going for, I don't know.
It's not like Kenny Omega and the One-Winged Angel, where like that's how he finishes matches.
Right. Yes.
Like if Kenny Omega twice before in the match has gone for the One-Winged Angel, and once he got poisoned Ronald, but this is how he has to finish the match, because that's how matches work in wrestling now. He goes for it a third time, and maybe the guy catches him. Like, that's a different thing than, I'm going to do this weird version of a move I don't normally do, and she's already proven she knows exactly how to hit a high-impact move out of it. And so here's the other thing. And then she does it, and she hits the Poison Rana, and she flings back across the entire ring. Kelani goes up and does her split-legged moonsault and wins. And immediately after that, like, good job, really good job. I'm really proud of you for beating me. Like, at what point do I ever think that you wanted to become North American champion, Sol Ruca?
Yeah, it
like, when did you want to do that?
And it doesn't even feel like that much of a. It bums me out because Kelani is great in the ring, and this is supposed to be a new title and a historic thing. And at no point in this did it feel like it had that kind of gravity. It felt like there's going to be a million awesome gifts that come out of this match.
Sure.
Gifts, whatever.
Like, the 450 buckshot is something I won't forget.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing.
A move does not a great match make.
Cyclo saying that she's such a good friend. She was letting Kelani hit the Rana from the top.
Oh my God, what a good friend.
I know. Like, that is sisterhood.
Alex.
You know?
I would do that for you. Because I'm an idiot.
Thank you. I know I can count on you to be an idiot. It's my fault. Alpha Bill says, Alex, are we friends? I think we are. But if we were in a wrestling match, I would still try to beat you, Alpha Bill.
Well, what kind of friend are you? One that wants a title and is competing for the same thing as your friends?
I mean, it's my occupation, and I get paid more money if I'm the champion. So yes.
The pay window, baby. Alex,
I would try to beat you.
To the pay window. Yeah. Well, don't forget, this is NXT, so you also have to have another occupation. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what it was. She was like, I don't really have to go to the pay window because I also get paid to surf.
I get paid to surf.
For gymnastics.
Bad Apple Jam Truebeard says, is Tiffany Fallon a horse, Barbie? Maybe.
I can't like Nay and Tiffany voice. I was trying to think if there was like a Toodles whinnying thing I could do, but.
And then Applejamm Treebeard makes fun of you, saying that segue by Kate for hooks was rougher than some of those spots in the ladies' ladder match yesterday.
Oh, really? Well, you just paid to talk about it.
I
So,
don't know.
guess who wins? Guess who's headed to the pay window? You might be my friend, but
Yeah.
I'm the one getting the monies.
So yeah, this is just my own personal proclivities and why I didn't like this. I hate
That's
I hate Chase U. And I can say that I hate them while saying they also had the best match I've ever seen them have as a tag team.
sure.
I can say I still hate them and I don't want to ever see them on TV again. Like it's insufferable to me. Why does he wrestle wearing a dress shirt under a sweater? Tell me, no one has explained to me why that is his wrestling gear. I don't understand it. He's a wrestling teacher. Doesn't he own a singlet?
Because of the Chase U section. There was a whole he's trying to get the students of Chase U pep rallied around him.
Just have Chase U written on the singlet. You can do that. Braun Breaker has Meaner Than Evil written on his. Write Chase U on it, and then it's fine. Thea Hale over emoting while on a white powdery substance on the outside. I just can't anymore with her. Duke Hudson is amazing, but he could be doing this exact same thing anywhere else but here in this particular thing. I can't get over it. I wish I could. I can't stand them. I don't. What is like this? This whole you spent now weeks having a problem between Nathan Frazer and Axiom, the Blurry boys, not on the same page, blurry or otherwise. Maybe the pages in Siri is in focus. Maybe it's not. We don't know. All we know is they're not on the same one. And then like Nathan Frazer barely even shows up on time for the match. And then they go out there and they're against Chase U, whose whole thing is we got to get the title back. And you have a specific thing that it appears you've been working on again for literal weeks now of Ridge Holland cheats to help them win. And then you're like, oh, he's staying at home. He's not coming to Canada, which of course we know is wrestling code for he's definitely coming to Canada. And like you have two stories simultaneously that feel like they dovetail perfectly into each other. And you don't do it. Now, am I happy that the Blurry Boys retained and have not broken up yet? Yes. Am I always happy when Chase U loses? Yes. But those aren't the stories you've been telling, and now I don't know what we're going from here, other than more TV time for Chase U to finish telling the story sometime in September.
Are you saying you want them to finish the story?
I do.
You gotta get a dog out there with the QR code shaved in it.
More than Cody, even.
Alex, you're just wrong about this one. I'm sorry. Chase U is really good. No, see what I appreciate is the ability to draw a distinction between wrestling criticism and knowing what is your taste and what is not your taste. I think that's a very important thing to distinguish. And I don't love this, but I'm a little easier on it than you. Red and purple, not the color scheme, by the way. Red and like lavender, I was not having.
What's the alternate color for
the away colors? I don't know. It was weird.
Lavender. They're literally bright red and navy blue. That's the colors that they've always been. Why is the other version of the shirt not navy blue?
It was weird. And not even the right shade of purple. It was upsetting. But was not into the fashion. Very into Duke Hudson wrestling, man. This dude is awesome. Like, he also was getting these really big crowd reactions when he would like, and not, I don't just mean me in my living room either. I mean, the crowd that was there was very into Duke Hudson when they let this guy work. Like, did some really cool spots in the corner. Whenever he threw up the little like Chase U sign and delivered backbreakers and stuff, like he's really over if you just let this guy do his job. And it was nice that it wasn't just me who was like out here Duke Hudson Sim. Andre Chase, this was like the best he's looked to. My guess is their end of the story goes into we need Ridge to win or we need to cheat to win or both.
Right.
And the idea of Chase U turning and eventually breaking up is not something that I hate. The Blurry Boys retaining here was a little bit suspect, but they're really good. So I'm also like, no, it doesn't match the story, but I want to see them have more defenses. So I'm happy about that. And there's somewhere for Chase University to go. This was far and away the best tag match that they've had. From the perspective of it was a match that had time to develop and didn't really have any outside shenanigans in it too much. Like, so much of Chase U has been like overbooking or weird stuff and distraction finishes. Like, when you just let these guys go, they can go. And we got a lot of that, which made me very happy. Duke Hudson rules. He should have several rockets strapped to him at this point. NASA should be calling Duke Hudson and sending him to the main roster with how many rockets Duke Hudson should have strapped to him.
Do you know what I was watching when I was watching this? I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing. I mean, here's the thing. I would, because I had forgotten when I was having this thought that it would involve Chase U bullshit. But I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing like who's gonna face Oba Femi at Great American Bash Battle Royal, and the surprise winner, Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson versus Oba Femi. Because I think that match would slap.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. Yeah.
It would be great. Duke wouldn't win, but it'd be awesome. It'd be a real coming out party for him. You get to see how strong he is, because he would heft up Oba Femi all over the place. Be really good. But I forgot that at ringside would be Thea Hale going, and I would hate it.
Yeah, and Oba Femi's too unfazed by, like, there would be no Oba Femi needing them banned from ringside, because he's the most dominant guy in the world. He wouldn't give a shit if they were out there. Like, what does Oba Femi care? So.
Right. Yeah. So apparently the purple was a reference to the Toronto Raptors, but that is not the shade of purple that they used to wear. They don't even wear purple anymore. But they used to wear a very dark plum purple, and that was lavender.
So I don't even. Yeah, lavender
this
and red is not. Yeah, the fashion is my biggest complaint about this match, because it was bad.
I mean, listen, the finish was great, and
yes,
Frazer and Axiom were very, very good together.
Phenomenal.
And I was watching them going like, man, they don't do this anymore. But like, if they did like a Survivor Series brand versus brand tag team match, just these guys in there with DIY and an actual tag team from Raw.
Ooh.
Like the Creeds. If the Creeds,
oh my God, the Creeds! That would be so
Creeds
much fun.
versus the Blurry Boys versus DIY in a triple threat match. The only time I'll ever advocate for brand supremacy.
Alex.
Yeah.
That idea is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It made me erect.
Blue Chew, main event performance, main event confidence, and a main event deal. Go to BlueChew.com and use the code FIGHTFUL, and you will get Blue Chew with their first shipment for free. Shipment? Yeah, I said shipment. No waiting in line at the pharmacy, no awkward doctor's visits. You take their online exam, and then if approved, it's shipped straight to your door. That's right. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and much more affordable. How can you pass up on this? How can you pass up on that confidence? How can you pass up on that performance? How can you pass up on making your sex life better? That's what Blue Chew is here to do. You don't have to have a problem to use Blue Chew. Just get that additional performance. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
You gotta keep them on their toes.
You're back. You're so back.
You're
so back.
My storytelling, here's the thing, because they're normally like innuendos and I intentionally take forever to get to them. I am booking tonight, okay? I am like so creative in my storytelling. Let's go. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, guys, I can't get a boner, but you can with BlueChew.com, code FIGHTFUL. fully taking advantage of the fact that my parents, I don't watch these ones.
Meet Norma says small sack of monies for Kate Segway and bangs.
Thank you so much. Both are on point today. What up?
Mm-hmm. So they had a bunch of videos that I'd much rather, and it's a good thing I did. I didn't I didn't watch these. You know why? Because I'm a cheapskate.
Yeah.
And actually I'm not. I looked it up. I am paying for the premium tier, and I only get the jobber tier. And I don't know why. I'm paying for it. I'm getting reimbursed either way. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm paying for the premium tier, and I'm getting the jobber tier with all the commercials. I don't know how to change it. I've looked into it. Peacock won't change it for me, but I would much rather watch Wheatley so good I drink it neatly than a video package from 5 months ago or whenever it was that they first showed this Briggs package.
I was also subjected to Wheatley and the earworm that lives in my head all weekend. So,
Forever.
I mean, they're called
Forever.
premium live events. You should, if you're on the premium tier, you should get the premiumiest experience
I should.
in the world.
Yeah. At Apple Jam Treebeard says, there's Kate Segway we all know and love. Maybe eat my words and they taste bitter. There you go.
We got one more to go. We're 1-1. We'll see what the tiebreaker is.
Yes. So yeah, a bunch of video packages from a long time ago, from at least weeks ago, if not months.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't get Pat Bew, Brooks, Jensen Cannon tonight. Well, the big sit down, so he's just going to chill till then.
Well, Spears will show up and be angry about the way that he didn't get pinned in the Fatal 4-Way, and Briggs will show up and attack him during the promo because Briggs was taken out by Spears.
Yeah,
with a chair. So there you go. That's how it works. Like you learn to figure out, you learn to suss out where they're going to have returns and who they're going to be against and all that kind of stuff. That'll probably be what it works. So, again, 5 matches on the show. At this point, at least all 5 of them were title matches.
Yes.
That is good. That
correct.
I appreciate you building to title matches, building such as it is, building to title matches on the
gymnastics builds, but builds nonetheless.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like Meet Norma says, I'd like to see AEW, WWE find a balance on the pay-per-view PLEs. There should be more wrestling than ads and entrances, and 10 is between 5 and 15. That's meat math and a good number of matches on the PLE pay-per-view. I don't mind it because that way you can have a couple of shorties.
Yeah.
A couple of shorter ones. A squash in there maybe somewhere. You know, something's like sub 8 minutes because you're telling the story of that person winning that fast. So you don't have to do a bunch of 20-minute guys on it either way. But listen, 5 is too short. 15 is too many. Anywhere in between that, I'd probably have less things to say about it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
I think 6 to 7 is ideal. If you have like a whoa show, 8 to 10, 8 to 11 is fine.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. It needs to be more than 5, and I should be able to recall your entire card. With AEW, sometimes I can't think of the entire card like off the top of my head. That to me is, and that's my personal recall, right? Like that to me is when it gets long. When I'm in a scrum and I'm like, who's coming out for what? Like it's too much. I should be able to be like, okay, these titles and these additional stories that had blow-offs, like it should be more than just championships, but it should also be a significant amount of championships.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I just like Money in the Bank having like 2 title matches out of all of the fake, like it just
Money in
So
the
many
Bank was
titles.
like a bigger one too. That's the thing. Like if you want to do
Well,
that on Bad Blood or whatever the fuck, like
it-
that's
it-
fine.
It appears as though the idea is going to be 5 matches is the standard, except for the 2-night affairs we're going to start getting. You know what I mean? And those
So
are going to have a
Rumble,
bunch more.
SummerSlam. I bet Survivor Series will probably have more.
Survivor Series is going to have 2 War Games matches, 1 for the men, 1 for the women, and 3 arbitrarily selected matches. That's what they're probably going to do with that, because the War Games matches are longer. So like
That's true. That one's fair.
you actually
at
have
5.
more wrestling
Wrestling.
time on the actual 3 hours. So
And then Drew and Punk will cost each other.
again, yes, we'll have to do that. Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice. Now, this wasn't her knee. It wasn't her knee. It wasn't Lola Vice's knee. I should have known they were going to do that spot. I'm
Sure.
going to back fist you, but accidentally I hit the ring post. I should have known they were going to do that one. But, man, I don't know. Wouldn't it be great to see Roxanne at the height of her powers versus Lola Vice at the height of her powers, and just see what happens, as opposed to Lola Vice broke her hand. I think she broke her hand and her wrist, also her tibia and fibia. Those are leg bones, but she probably broke those too, Booker. Oh yeah, like that's. I mean, I would just. I just wanted this to be not that. I didn't want them to have, okay, how can we babyface Lola Vice by having her fight from underneath against Roxanne Perez? And what they did was they had her break her hand or her wrist or her leg or lots of other things, ribs, by back fisting the ring post. And then Roxanne, like, she wasn't able to get her spinning back fist on people, but we've actually seen her win a lot of matches
Other
before
stuff.
her spinning back fist with head kicks.
Yeah.
And she was just doing body kicks. So I would have liked to have, like, if you're going to do, oh, hey, I can't do my back fist anymore, but I got other limbs. Like, wouldn't it be kind of cool if she spun out and did a friggin' left-handed back fist? Because, yeah. I learned how to do that when I was professionally fighting. You know what I mean? Like, that's a thing that would be kind of cool to do. But they didn't do that. They had her be like, oh, my hand, for the rest of the match. And then, I guess to her credit, they protected her by having her kick out of a bunch of
Yeah, that was cool. We haven't seen that yet.
of the Pop Roxes, which is nice. But like, it still ends up her not being at full strength because she back fisted a ring post instead of a Roxanne. And then she back fisted a ring post instead of a Roxanne, and that was her own fault. And that's what happened. And so Roxanne wins. She gets to show a little vicious side by hitting like 3 of those things in a row. To like, that's cool. All right, good. And now we just wait for Julia to be cleared.
Yeah, that's
then the other question is, what is Lola Vice now? Not in this match, but beyond this match.
Yeah.
Because this is not who you've ever shown us as Lola Vice before. And I got to tell you, that other Lola Vice to me was preferable to this one.
So, a lot of really cool work in this match. I thought their ring styles meshed really, really well together. Roxanne is excellent. And I don't know, are we sitting around waiting for Julia to beat her and then what? Like, is Cora Jade close enough to coming back? They're going to do a thing? Is she just going to the main roster? Like, I get so nervous about great talents going up to the main roster because the call-ups have been crap. All of them of recent, except for Lyra Valkyria, who I don't feel like they've done a good job assigning weight to her of importance. They have not done a good job telling us her character. Ilya Dragunov, like, lost to Jey Uso and has just been having matches. He hasn't been in a proper story. Carmelo, same thing. Really high-profile matches that have been really strong. And hasn't really been in a proper story, though I think we're getting one soon with LA Knight. Everybody else has fallen to the wayside. And so when I think about how cool it should be when someone gets called up, I have a hard time now. Tiffany, obviously, killing it. but like very few on the main roster. Braun killing it. That's 2. That's 2 of like 11 or something. So like if you told me Blair Davenport was going to go to the main roster and not feel like a force to be reckoned with, I would have laughed at you because she's someone who should. So I guess we wait and see. I liked that the second Pop Rocks didn't go great, and I don't know if that was supposed to be one that was like a for good measure one, but kudos to her whether it was supposed to be 3 or she was just like, that one didn't work, we're going to throw a third one on here. That was well done by her, because finish on the strong note there, and it only makes Lola look more vicious. I get what you're saying about the broken hand spot. I'm a little more okay with it, kind of because they've defined her by the knockout punch so much. And that spot, when done right, always looks extremely believable to me. Like, if you hit your ring post dead on, full force, I believe it broke your hand. Yeah. So I kind of like those spots, because they also still, even though it's a predictable one, they oftentimes still catch me by surprise. So there was a lot to like about this match. I will say the starkness of the turn from the promo of last week into this match just made this feel a little muddy. Like, I don't know who Lola Vice is, because she's a different person a week ago than she's been this whole time. So that kind of had a cloud over my enjoyment of this match. But both of them are great. It is very weird that we had a face-on-face feud and a heel-on-heel feud. Like, you could have just swapped them.
It was heel-on-heel up until a week ago.
Yeah.
They made her face. So here's what I would like to do out of this. I don't know, like, I don't know how it would have been nice if they had figured out a way to do this backstage tonight. Lola being really upset that she lost. And because Kelani is everybody's friend, she comes up and like gives her a little, a hand on the shoulder, being
kiss
like,
on the forehead.
"There's nothing to be ashamed of," and blah blah blah. And then we have Lola hit her with a spinning kick or something.
That would be cool.
Like, don't mistake my tears last Tuesday for weakness. Like, something like that, and put her like the opposite of Kelani's like, my best friend Sol Ruca and I are gonna have a little fun middle match.
A spirited competition.
Cute? I don't care who wins, because friendship is magic. And the opposite of that is Lola Vice trying to kick your damn head off.
Sure.
Like, that wouldn't, because to me, I always felt like that the NXT North American Women's Championship thing was kind of earmarked for a Lola Vice run. I never pictured Lola Vice as a top women's champion. So if that's who Kelani loses to, not immediately, but down the line, that would be a really good thing for Lola, and probably a good thing for Kelani to have to wrestle people who actually want to beat her, unlike Sol Ruca.
I just don't want any drama. But I will say, even if you didn't want to go fully in that direction, you could have had, like, there's no shame in losing or whatever. And Lola Vice just being disgusted by that attitude. This woman was like one-on-one with Shayna Baszler not that long ago. Like, even because there's a cool angle as a tweener or a face in there of like, I'm not okay with not winning. Why are you? You're a champion.
Right.
Like, there's fun dissension that you can walk the line with if you aren't sure what you want to do next with her.
Yeah, and Joe's saying if they're going to keep Lola face for some reason, then her thing should be Jacy and Jazmyn.
Yeah,
that should be the thing that she goes out.
And she should kick the dog ass out of them. Yeah,
Jacy should be wearing 5 nose protectors by the end of that feud,
and they're all like
all the way out to here. Just,
I was gonna say they're all a little off center, and she just has nose, a horizontal nose.
Yeah. Tim McFall saying that Roxanne in a program with Bailey would be awesome.
That's inevitable, I would say.
I mean, eventually they'll definitely get to that point. Jim Beard's saying, I don't know, parts of this women's title match was great, but for the most part I couldn't get into it because I find Laura's character boring. I also took 5 pops rocks, including one through a table. It felt weak to me. Well, like, it's supposed to protect Lola that she like won't give up. And according with Will Chisholm saying this, those pop rocks felt like when Randy gets mad and he puts a little stank with the RKO. Like eventually it was just like, okay, fine, you're not going to tap out to this crossface. I'm going to do 3 of these to you in a row. Like she was like, I am done with you. And I don't know. I felt like it was. I felt like it was a fine little like as opposed to like, I don't know, I can't possibly beat her. It was just like, you know what? Screw you. I'm gonna hit you with 3 of these in a row.
Yeah.
As opposed to anything else. But they're at least they were trying to protect Lola, but
it's a tough one because Roxanne's size, I think she's acclimated very, very well in the ring. But when you have someone as hard hitting and with the size advantage as Lola, like you have to produce your matches really specifically to make it buy-inable. And I felt like that was a good way to go about it, honestly. And I feel like Roxanne has settled into the heel that they want her to be, even though it's not my first choice.
So Roxanne, I don't know when Julia's showing up, but Roxanne is just doing placeholder stuff until Julia shows up.
Seems that way for sure. Seems that way.
I don't know who she faces at Great American Bash on Sci-Fi because Olympics. So they're doing a major show the Tuesday after SummerSlam in a month, and it's going to be on Sci-Fi. So hopefully you got that on your cable package.
They never do sci-fi themed stuff. Like there's so much like network crossover in wrestling. They never do any weird sci-fi stuff. There's never any Mulder and Scully around here. They should.
Oh, man, they need to do like a tractor beam match where like if you get thrown in the thing, you get sucked up into the thing. Use some fun little terrible CGI. Something.
Oh, it would be so good.
Give us some sci-fi themed stipulation matches.
The Pretty Deadly era would have killed that idea.
I want that.
You know what I want?
What?
Everyone to take care of their man parts.
Nobody wants to see your hairy balls, so clean them up. Manscaped.com and the code FIGHTFUL is taking care of you. Maybe you're just looking at yourself and you're going, I'm too far gone, there's nothing I can do. Manscaped's got you covered. And you might say, but Shawn, there's just so much. Where do I begin? Manscaped.com and the code FIGHTFUL. That's where you begin. That's where you go. That's what you do to figure out all this. Body wash, body buffers, shampoo, beard oil, beard balm, beard trimmers, beard combs, and then stuff for your nether regions. Ear and nose hair trimmers. What don't they have at manscaped.com when you use that code FIGHTFUL? If you travel too much, you're like, I can't be bothered with that. They got the go bag as well. They got the groin and go bundle. They have everything for you. Don't let yourself go by the wayside. Take control of yourself and your cleanliness. Go to manscaped.com. Use that code FIGHTFUL.
And if you want to take care of the hygiene of your wrestling news, if you want to make sure that the stories are clean, head over to FightfulSelect.com. You get so much on Fightful Select. OMG, I can't even. Okay, you get all the scoops in the game. You get Corey Brennan taking care of your NXT scoops. You got Shawn cranking out scoops over there like crazy in this insane contract year. So much going on this summer in the wrestling world. You get me and Alex doing PLE and pay-per-view post shows on FightfulSelect.com. Best $5 in the biz. You also get the Fightful Select Discord. If you're sick of weirdos online, it's a safe space to hang out and talk about wrestling, and it's the Fightful Select Discord. So head over there. You get Shawn's Q&A channel in that. You get Shawn's Q&A show behind the paywall. You get like cool throwback stuff. You get movie reviews. There's all sorts of things happening on FightfulSelect.com. Head on over and subscribe. It's how we get paid, people. Go support and make sure you're getting the most accurate news that you possibly can instead of somebody posting like a weird image and then taking a quote out of context. Like just subscribe if you can. We appreciate it.
Apple Jam Treebeard says that the better way he feels to make Lola feel strong in defeat would have Rox put her in AJ Lee's Black Widow submission finisher, have Lola pass out. Maybe.
It's a very cool finisher. I gotta say, like, I appreciate the AJ Lee tributes, but like, I feel like the more Roxanne and when Core Jade returns, like the less they do of like, I'm a CM Punk stan when I was a kid, and I also am inspired by AJ Lee. Like, time for you to grow into yourselves. But that submission absolutely rules. But I feel like a million Pop Rocks is a good way to go.
Sure.
They're delicious candy. Why not?
Just don't put them in Coca-Cola.
No.
Well, they'll
Go
explode.
crazy.
Yeah. That would be a really fun thing to do, like on a Halloween episode. It's like there's a puddle of Coca-Cola, and she does a Pop Rocks into it, and the person she does it to just starts going.
That's so much better than an exploding barbed wire death match.
Yeah, it's good.
Alex, we should do some puns because we're already like coming up on the main event here.
Yeah. Heat puns, well, or summer puns, I guess. Meet Norma says how.
I was singing summer punning.
I know you were. I was letting you finish, so we wouldn't. Meet
Wello, puns.
Meet Norma says, how does a burger introduce his wife? Meat Patty.
That's really good. I like that one.
Love Fro says, all barbecue methane page. And Nation of Dehydration.
Oh, gotta drink your water.
Doc Chris Mueller says Chelsea Green should have won Money in the Bank. Not Chelsea Green, Chelsea.
Like, I can't do conversions in my head, but Chelsea Green's very good.
Yes. Ian R says Thermal Steam 2000. Scorch Saber Jr. Chase BTU. And Bam Bam Boiling Point.
The lengths you guys go to stretch. I mean, ZSJ and Bam Bam Bigelow, sure, but like Techno Team 2000 is just so irrelevant.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Chris Thermostatlander.
Very good. Very good.
Meet Norma says Mercuria Ripley. Temperature of the Islands.
Temperature of the Islands is really good.
Ian R says Penta El Cerro Inferno. Bad Apple Jam Treebeard says Zach Summer Jr. Thermal Team 2000. Bam Bam Boiling Point. BTU Trigger. And Ego Energy Page.
Nice.
Bad Apple Jam Treebeard also says the Rock and Sock Thermal Conduction.
Guess we're going deep cut with the thermals.
Doc Chris Mueller says Jacob Hotu. Inferno Team. Jacob Hatu. Now I get it.
Hatu.
Jacob Hatu.
I got you.
Not to be confused with Jacob Haktua. Inferno Team 2000 and Kel Vincent Righteous.
I'm still stuck on you doing a Haktua joke, but it's fine.
I'm hip.
You're so hip.
I've seen the memes.
You've seen the memes. You're so cool.
Bad Apple Jam Treebeard says Propane Peter Avalon and of course Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero.
Oh.
Very
important wrestler to me, Eddie Guerrero.
Cito Gatto 6 says Will Ocean Spray and Alex Joslowski. This is good from ENR. Fuego Oba Femi.
Oh my gosh, ENR. I'm sorry you lost your job. I saw that in the chat after we were off air, and I just want to say some better's around the corner. It always is. We already talked about that on here, like how neither of us would be in this position if we hadn't lost jobs that were more stable or whatever. So something better is around the corner. This community is amazing at lifting people up when they need it. Do your thing. Give Ian Riccaboni all your love. And the good news is you have a very solid commentary ability and you are working a lot. So I'm hoping that'll help.
Yes, true. Meet Norma says Celsius Green, Heat in Dexter Loomis, Fuego del Sol.
Fuego del Sol. I like the ones where you can just cheat by just saying the name.
You just say the name. You say the name. So Lexus King talks about the heritage of rock and roll, not that bleep bloop music. And I guess before he has a feud with Eddie Thorpe about bleep bloop music, he's challenging Tony D for the Heritage Cup because American heritage is rock and roll, he says. And Tony D, who's in his basil patch, is like, hey, so you come talking to me about this, and I'm gonna sit here and nibble on a leaf of basil, and I'm gonna see you on Tuesday, Lexus King. So yeah, no, it's just it's good.
Is it?
I mean, it's fine because Tony D is gonna be successful in defending the Heritage Cup, and he's I will get to see Tony D throw Lexus King all over the ring, and I'm pretty sure, like 97.3% sure, that there's no danger of him losing the Heritage Cup in the match. So it'll just every suplex will be a gift to me personally. So,
Alex,
yeah,
we are almost talking about the main event, and we are an hour and 15 into the show. That is very unlike us. So here's what's gonna happen. You said at the beginning of the show that you were either gonna make people hate the show or they were gonna hate you. I'm gonna do you one better.
Okay,
I'm gonna do you one better.
What's that?
I'm gonna give you a history lesson about music in like 2 minutes.
Oh, no.
So you can stretch, you could do whatever you want. You can mute me right now. I'd probably mute me if I was gonna hear about how pretentious I was about to be.
I'm not gonna mute you. I'll mute myself.
American heritage being built on rock and roll. The idea that rock and roll is inherently an American thing of like rock and roll, apple pie, baseball, or whatever is sarcastic. The idea that it's American is a sarcastic idea because we stole rock and roll from the Brits, i.e. the Beatles, and black people. Because rock and roll, if you trace its roots all the way back, is rooted in slave songs. You go to rhythm and blues. Blues, sped up is rock and roll. The Brits are responsible for every great rock and roll innovation that we've had. Basically, from that point on, this is not American heritage. And you know what? You're a heel, Lexus King. So you get to just make stuff up. But I'm just saying, viewers out there deserve to know that when people say American, Leonard Skinner, rock and roll, whatever, that ain't it. Anybody with music education knowledge knows that this is a sarcastic thing. It was the Beatles and black people that we stole this from, specifically slaves, because that's what we do as Americans. Look at the Constitution. Okay. Jazz, grunge, a little different, but rock and roll specifically. Alex, you can come back now. That was my pretentious music rant. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the extreme segues into the ads today to make up for how obnoxious that was. Thanks so much.
That is the most use I've ever gotten out of that gift from my father-in-law. a copy of The Rise of Theodore Roosevelt, 700,000 pages. The print is so tiny, and do you have a documentary I could watch, Richard? Because I'm not going to read that book. I'm sorry.
Well, it makes a good prop. So
it does.
When I go on another pretentious rant about how pop punk sucks or something, you can bust it out again.
Will Chisholm saying that Tony D talking about his garden is goated.
That was pretty great.
Yeah. Okay. So
the chat wants to know how grunge is different. That was a musical innovation in rock and roll that happened in America. The Brits are responsible for pretty much every single other one. So grunge is like the one thing that we innovated on under the rock and roll genre umbrella that came out of the West Coast. So there's that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, someone with a master's is backing me up. Let's go. I am pretentious, but I am agreed with.
Yeah. So I Sweet and Sassy. I don't know. Does Corey know? Corey's not around. Is on 5 Select?
I can message
I don't
him.
know.
Let's see if Corey's awake. That's a fun thing to play.
I don't know. Let's see if it's on. Hold on. Let's see if the hold
on FightfulSelect.com, where you can get producer lists and rundowns for weekly episodic television under the WWE umbrella.
You
Is
look
that
up that.
what you're going to check?
You look up that.
You think my internet's gonna hold up again?
Man. Listen, people are going to make me have to watch more of this. Currently, NXT Heatwave on Cage Match is rated at a 9.69. Number one, nice. High. Number two, no. No.
That'll even out.
It's got 26 10.0s.
It was definitely not a 10.0 PLE. But it was, I think it was strong. I think it was stronger than you think it is because I can accept imperfections.
It wasn't a 10.
It was not a 10. It was an 8.
It wasn't a 10. It wasn't a 10. 9.69, I'm pretty sure, is a higher rating than Forbidden Door.
Yeah, no, that's... A 9.69 might be a higher rating than the second All Out or whatever when Danielson and Cole appeared. Like, it is not...
It's probably higher than most NXT takeovers from the heyday.
I think wait till we see the morning.
Let's see.
The producer lists are not there, but I will message Corey. Right. We have gotten off the rail.
17 minutes and 24 seconds is this main event NXT title Fatal 4-Way match. 17 minutes and 24 seconds. 17 minutes and 19 seconds of it was amazing. The last 5 seconds ruined the whole match. And I'm sorry, that's who I am. Match ruined. Ruined. Final 5 seconds ruined the match. Sorry. Ruined. What a brilliant, amazing match. What an amazing breakout performance by Javon Evans. Truly breakout. This guy is going to do amazing things in his career. I cannot believe how young he is. All of the back and forth stuff, the really cool moments, the near falls, everybody got to do really cool things. Shawn Spears proved he's still at the level that he can do this kind of stuff. Good for Shawn Spears. Ethan Page has everything you could possibly want in like making a match feel like it's important in the match. Trick Williams is a hugely over top guy. I don't think it's even arguable.
Yeah.
And then Ethan Page won the match while unconscious. And the whole thing is ruined.
Before we get into the match, you guys know I'm an Ethan Page fan, and I am a huge fan of his work, and there are many critical reasons that I think he's an unbelievable wrestler, notably his ability to make his opponents look excellent while making himself look really good in the process, and his promo ability to create connective tissues between things that are ambiguous or don't make sense. Those are my favorite things about Ethan Page as a wrestler.
Yeah.
2 quick Ethan Page stories. When I went to my first independent show, it was Joey Janela's curtain call. And I went with a friend who was working commentary. And I was intimidated. It was very weird because I was there early. There were a bunch of wrestlers around. And I didn't know any of them. And everybody was agenting their matches. And I was just like this invisible ghost. And it took me back to this really weird place of being like a little girl almost, like who didn't I did not expect to get this emotional about the story, but like I just didn't feel like I belonged. And it's a very weird feeling if you have like anxiety or whatever. And Ethan Page was on that show, and I had been a fan of his work, but I never met him. And as I'm like literally sitting in the corner, like I'm sure I looked like a little kid too, he just comes up to me and says, "Hi, I'm..." his shoot name. And he just talked to me like I belonged there. He talked to me like I was just a human being talking to another human being. And I genuinely don't know if he didn't take time to do that, if I would have ever gotten to another independent show ever again. I certainly wouldn't be doing commentary. And that changed entirely how I viewed that day. And I've never, ever, ever forgot it. And then 4 months ago, he becomes your Excite Wrestling champion. And I'm on commentary. And he's doing a meet and greet. And it's 9 million degrees in the venue. And I was like, maybe I should give this guy a bottle of water as he's talking to people under lights in a 5 million degree venue. And I started to walk over to him to give him a water. And he acts like I should be doing the meet and greet. This guy, God bless him. Sorry to ruin the business. He's actually really great. Just, oh my God, Kate. And just talk to me again. And I got to tell him the first story that I just told you guys. But I just wanted that to be public because that meant the world to me. And even at Excite, seeing how he treated me on commentary, telling me spots that he was going to give his opponents and things that I should be looking out for on commentary without having to pull teeth as it is sometimes. Need a backstage interview to set something up? Awesome. Should I take the title with me or do you guys want to hold on to it? Stuck around, was the last guy out of the locker room, one of the first people in the room. Ethan Page, the person, and Ethan Page, the wrestler, I'm a huge fan of on both counts. And I just wanted everyone to know those stories because match was really cool. I think he's going to do a million awesome things as NXT champion. But I was like beaming with excitement that the guy who I feel like should be a champion in some promotion is now a world champion in NXT. And I was out of my skin excited. And I just wanted to tell you that story because I think the ending fucking sucked. And I didn't want all of this genuine excitement and how excited I am for the person and how excited I am for the title reign and all the wonderful things I think he's going to do as champion and all of the glowing things I think about his ability to be truncated by the fact that I thought it was really stupid to end it this way. This match was awesome for most of it. Javon Evans, him and Oba Femi, man. Like we saw Braun Breaker and Carmelo and Tiffy come up. This crop is going to be like Oba Femi, Javon Evans, Roxanne. Like there are people being built and it's awesome. Shawn Spears did some really, really good work in this and a lot of really smart work that shows you why like this guy as a veteran is just going to be a huge asset as a coach, as someone who needs to make sense out of stories, someone who can help younger guys along in ring. Like even the spot where he was on the top rope and didn't go for it, I was like, oh, that's really, really, really good. Trick is over like Rover. I feel like his title reign, again, not a reflection of his talent or his ability to be over. The stories around his title reign have not been good. And I think him having to chase his way back is going to be something that is infinitely needed as a wind in the sails for this guy. So the frustrating thing about the ending for me is I like what it led to. I think Ethan Page is going to be an incredible champion. I think Trick needed this for his character. Javon Evans loses nothing by being one of four guys in this and not winning because he gave an all-star performance. And Shawn Spears, I think, not that he needs to prove anything at this stage of his career, but it just was a reminder. So all of these great things came out of it. But so far with Ethan Page, we've already had his finisher not be protected, and he basically won this match not conscious. So it's like he kind of, for how much of a star he is, they've taken all of this softness around the like refreshingly like cutting edgeness of Ethan Page to me, and they really kind of weakened some stuff. just for no reason. Like they could have just not done that in either case. You just either not have him hit the ego's edge and it get kicked out of, and you don't have him win basically lifelessly here. So that stuff is frustrating. But the end result, I think, is like a best case scenario for all guys that were involved in the match. And the rest of the match was fantastic. It felt like a main event. They did a really good job. It was a really weird road to get to this 4-pack. But the actual match, other than that weird ass ending, I felt like was really, really cool. So there you go.
Yeah, you said it pretty well. I'm happy that Ethan Page is the champion, but like this is how we got there. Like this is. There was a really great moment where where Trick was laid out, fully done on the outside, and Shawn Spears did the C4 to Javon Evans, and Ethan Page ran in and shit canned Spears and pinned him. And I was like, if that had been the finish, I would have been like, this was almost a perfect match. Almost perfect. Like a 9.92 out of 10. What a great way to do it.
6-9, but yeah.
But then it just came out. It just kept going and going and going, and they were all good stuff, a lot of good stuff. And I was like, so where's the finish? How's this is going to happen? And Trick hits Ethan Page with a knee. Well, he hits one to Javon Evans. Then he hits another one immediately after that to Ethan Page, who falls back. And somehow Trick Williams falls out of the ring, and he's trying to get back in. And Shawn Spears grabs Trick Williams' leg as though it's a tag match. And he doesn't want him to break up the pinfall because his partner is tag. Like, it's a fatal 4-way. If you're not involved in the pin, you want to make sure anybody breaks up that thing.
Yeah.
Somebody has to break up that thing. If it's not you, it's got to be somebody else. You should be literally shoving Trick Williams into the ring so he can go break up the pinfall. That didn't make zero sense. Shawn Spears holding him back. That makes no sense whatsoever. I don't get it. Because Shawn Spears doesn't like Ethan Page. Like, he was obviously like could not believe that he had lost. He was very upset by it. Like, and to the people saying, well, this is great because Ethan Page is going to gloat. I know how a lot of people like that. Where like heels will gloat about shit they didn't do. I fucking hate it. Don't tell me lies. Tell me truths. I don't want to see you tell me how great you are when you won a match knocked out. Because that doesn't make me go, oh, what's a heel? Heel's being delusional. Fuck that. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Everyone should exist on the plane of reality we all exist on. We all saw you win the match when you were fucking knocked out. You don't get to gloat about that. That's dumb. I don't care how good Ethan Page is at gloating about it. It's still going to be a fucking lie. And he should know it's a lie and not fucking say it. I fucking hate all this. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. All you had to do, HBK, was not book one of your greatest hits. And he couldn't fucking resist.
I hate it for different reasons. Because I don't always hate that angle. But I do when Ethan Page is way too unestablished. He's way too unestablished in NXT. I know him because I've been following him for a lot of his career. But in NXT, what happened was he lost his first title match. He didn't win a battle royal. That is still going on technically. Like, if you're going to do that shit, I need to believe you could have won anyway. But then you were just like casual about it or whatever. This is the guy to me. This works when you're the guy who has 55 home runs a season. And so that when you hit one to the warning track, you run lazily like you hit a home run. Yeah. I can handle that when you are more established, you have some wins, you feel like a viable threat already. So that for me is my thing. Like, if you're going to be a chicken shit heel, I have to have evidence to believe that you are actually good already. So they just didn't they didn't do that. They made him look weak with his finisher immediately. That was the first thing that they told us about.
The first thing they did was tell us his finisher's dog shit because they can't pin a guy.
In
That's
a
what they
world
told
title
him.
match.
In a world title match. And then he lost clean. And then he got this by beating another guy to get in it. And Shawn Spears got it by beating Trick Williams. That's how Shawn Spears got into the fucking match.
Yeah.
So him winning through no action he took. He did not take an action. I'm fine with him winning off of Shawn Spears' move to Javon Evans, then shit-kidding Shawn Spears, but because that shows he's a cagey heel. What this shows is that he got knocked out.
He got knocked
and
out
happened
lucky
to land on a dude. This is also the same finish from Backlash 2007.
Yep.
Where HBK super kicks Cena and Cena falls onto Orton. Like, it's the same thing. Like, he cannot stop picking out shit from his own past and saying, this is a good idea, I'll do this.
And the other thing is, he's not this isn't a chicken shit heel because he didn't run away from anything and he didn't do anything clever or cerebral. He got knocked out, right? Like, there's a difference between being strategic and being just kind of lucky here at the end.
Right.
But it's frustrating because of that. But like, rest of the match was great. I love what comes out of it for the product moving forward. I think that's a really, really healthy decision for pretty much everyone involved. I just don't like the means to an end that they got there. This was weird.
I want Ethan Page to be the champion. I want him to be the champion.
You want him to be a convincing champion, and they haven't shown us that he can win yet. Yeah.
They haven't done the work to make him into a guy who deserves to be champion yet.
Or that
in any way.
Yeah, he just hasn't had enough wins. Like, he lost his first title match. He had a couple minor wins, but he hasn't won at a big spot yet in a real way.
That's the thing with Trick is like, does Trick get it back? Because if not, what are you doing with Trick? Like, honestly, I love Ethan Page. But if this is the way you're going to take the title off of Trick, what a waste of Trick Williams. That man had a meteoric rise to be one of the most over dudes on the entire roster, Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. One of the most over guys. He had never appeared on SmackDown before. He shows up to save Carmelo Hayes that one weird time, and they're immediately doing whoop that Trick chants. Like he's hugely over. You put him. You have him beat Ilya Dragunov, who's one of the top 10 wrestlers in the whole world and the best guy to come through NXT in a long ass time. You have him beat Ilya Dragunov to become the champion, and what have you done with the reign?
No, I mean nothing. Like nothing with this reign.
He's lost the title, but he lost the title via oopsie daisy, via slipping on a banana peel. He lost the title. And if he gets it back, that doesn't exactly do the thing we want, which is to establish Ethan Page as a respectable champion. So you've basically decided voluntarily with your own actions to book yourself into a corner where it feels like if you're going to help out Trick, you're going to hurt Ethan Page. If you help out Ethan Page, you're going to hurt Trick. You can do, I promise you.
Both, yeah.
You can make sure both guys look good coming out of this, and we'll see. I guess we'll just have to have faith in Shawn Michaels, great booker that he is, that he knows exactly where he's going with this. And by the fall, everything will be laid out before us, and everyone will come out smelling like roses. Because we have so many things in the past, instances in history to look to and say, he's done that exact thing so many times that why wouldn't he be able to do it again? Oh, wait, no, the opposite of everything I just said.
It's opposite day on Sunday. I do think Trick's reign was so dead in the water. I feel like it's inevitable with the way this ended and his reaction to it that he'll come for Ethan Page again. Also, we got a Joe Hendry graphic real fast. So I don't know if he's entering the world title picture, but they just threw up a Joe Hendry graphic, and I'm like, okay.
We're getting Joe Hendry versus
Ethan Page?
I have no idea.
And like, oh, okay. Like, all right, good at a Great American Bash, or is that a different thing? Is Trick what are you doing with Trick? Is Trick getting called up? Like, is he going up after SummerSlam? What are we doing?
Trick is the one that's like the most vulnerable coming out of this for sure, but it does feel like there was that great moment of tension with Javon Evans tonight. So I think there's going to be a feud there. And he better come back for his title.
Yeah. There was something.
Ian, I'll ask Corey about this. That's fine. We'll know when we're getting the I'm sorry, I love you storyline.
I don't know. There was another chat in here and it's gone now, but I was waiting for this particular moment because somebody had said that what a great way to like book people, use the PLE to hook people into the weekly show. This was so much fun from beginning to end, and we get a Joe Hendry thing. And I was like, yeah, in silence and for a second. Like, if I hadn't been
didn't even say his name and he appeared.
They didn't say his name. He didn't appear. There was no stinger of his music. It was literally his face for less than a second. It might as well have been a QR code. Like, what are we like? I'm
Joe Hendry and the Wyatt Six. I'm in. Well, here's the deal. Like, their master plan of having Joe Hendry thrown out of a battle royal immediately did not pay off in the ratings. They had very low ratings the next 2 weeks. So hopefully they learned from their mistake because that was rough.
So there we go. Doug Savona says, "Hi guys, love the job you do. I'm at work, so I missed Heatwave. Did Joe Hendry appear? His face kind of did.
But like the whole thing is say his name and he appears. I don't think they said his name.
Nobody said his name. I'm sure of it.
He's silent and he appears. That's not how that goes at all.
No. Love Fro says, I believe in Joe Hendry. Clap, clap. And Delgado, this is where that's how you use your PLE to get people to want to watch the main show. Fun from beginning to end. And the Joe Hendry tease is a nice cliffhanger. I mean, cliffhanger, I don't know, man. We don't.
It's not a cliff that
there's no
hanging
cliff
off of.
It's just, I don't know. Okay, there's a lot of.
It's like a horizon that you drove your Jeep up to. Like we're not hanging off the cliff yet. It was just a nice picture.
Alpha Bill says, didn't like Vic shitting on Alpha One Wrestling. I didn't hear him do that. Did he shit on Alpha One Wrestling?
I didn't hear him do that either, but I'm sure that was designed by the fact that Ethan Page is a heel and a big part of Alpha One Wrestling.
Ryan Sully says, HBK with the Backlash 2007 flashback with that finish. LOL. Let the sour flow. Cheers, Kate and Alex. We will. We did. We have. We shall. Bad Apple Jam Treebeard says it was once again HBK booking his career in NXT. He did the end where Edge speared Orton and then Cena A8 Edge, then HBK super kicked Cena onto Orton's body in the fair. Yes, that. Yes, that exact thing. Yes, he just say, hey, there was a thing in a match I once did. Should we do that? And nobody will remember it. Oh yes, we will, because we are dorks.
We're savants.
Ryan Cicchini says Ethan Page, the character, will gloat how he won. Like, I beat you while I was unconscious, and then we'll be like, yeah, but don't you see how that makes you like worse than it makes him?
Well, if he did this in 6 title defenses from now, he could be like, I'm so good I can beat you when I'm not even awake. But like, he can't do that yet. Like, this is too early to pull that shit off, in my opinion.
Yeah. Tim McFall says, Kate, heart emoji. Okay, now I'm an even bigger Ethan Page fan.
Just the most positive interactions you could possibly have with the wrestler are the ones that I've had with that guy.
That's good. Steph the writer says, who was that main event ending supposed to help? I don't know.
Well, it's so weird because the outcomes of it are great. The actual endings suck.
I mean, it helps Ethan Page because he's the champion now.
And I would argue that it helps Trick if they do something with it moving forward, because he was dead in the water with this rain. Again, not his fault. But this rain was bad. And now he has something to be pissed off about.
Oh, apparently Shawn has a report on 5 Select about Joe Hendry. Everybody should go subscribe to that now. because we're not behind the paywall here, so we can't read the report to you. You have to go and subscribe.
Subscribe.
It's the best $5 in the business, though. So
It is the best $5 in the business. The top dollars, as it were.
Just Ricardo says, I'm 1000% against banana peel wins. Killed it all. Yeah,
Banana peel wins.
I am against banana peel wins as well. I call it winning via oopsie daisy, and I hate it.
Are they Cavendish bananas?
They are big. Question. They are Big Mike bananas. They are Big Josh bananas. Meet Norma says, why put a foot? Why put a foot on the rope in a 4-way no DQ match? Yeah, like are there rope breaks or are they not rope breaks? There certainly was a rope break in that particular instance.
There was.
They called it that, but I didn't know there were. It's a no DQ fatal 4-way match, but there are rope breaks. So I don't know, man. Just be consistent is all I would say with that.
Notably, also no Ora Mensa. Neither of them lied.
No,
the people that said they are not going to Canada.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Now Ora Mensa gets to have a title match versus Ethan Page. Ethan Page will be 1-0 in his reign. He won't lose in his first title defense, so that'll be nice. Steph the writer says star-making performance for Javon. 100%.
Hell yeah.
100%. That dude's got it. I don't know that they'll do it. I still say an amazing thing they should do with him is have him get a title match versus Oba Femi. And have Oba Femi just chuck him all over the place. And afterwards, he was like, wow, you threw me pretty far, big man. I'm going to get another title shot, though. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then have it do it again. But this time he gets really close. And then a few months later, he gets another title shot and he beats him. Like that would be if I was to say Oba Femi has to lose 1 year from now, the guy I would have him lose to is Javon Evans. I would have it be that story. Over the course of a year, he gets 3 title shots against him. Not a rematch. Crucially, he has to earn those title shots every time. But on the third one, he beats Oba Femi. Now, do I think Oba Femi should lose the title ever? No, he should never lose anything.
I was going to say, my one problem with that.
If you told me he had to lose a match 1 year from now, it would be to Javon Evans.
That's my big thing, though. It's just like, he should never lose.
Will Chisholm says, I think Trick will get the title back on the first show on the CW if it's me. I guess.
Is it you? Are you booking?
I mean, Will,
let us know.
Have you?
And if so, I'm sorry. We've been very critical.
I'm sorry about that. Shonda Walensky says, I'll take all ego champion over annoying Tiffy in the bank. He's going to be
How dare you?
He's going to be insufferable as champion. Believe in Joe Hendry. There's a lot of exclamation points in there, Shawn.
I don't understand why Tiffany Stratton, aka me, is catching strays tonight when all I did was win Money in the Bank. And I'm going to cash in at SummerSlam, and I'm going to say toodles to comments like yours.
Mm-hmm. Applejam Treebeard says, I would have had it if after Ego won, have his old tag partner show up as a crossover.
Guys.
And have Josh Alexander show up. Before Joe Hendry's face pops up.
We as a society. I love interpromotional booking, and free agency is very exciting. But so many people were like, Ricky Starks is going to show up, or Josh Alexander is going to show up. It's like, well, hold on. Alexander is almost done with TNA, first of all. Like,
it'd be a hell of a way to go out.
It would be a really cool way to go out, and I think that would be neat. But like, I feel like it's the same with people that are like Nigel versus Danielson. I was like, well, can he wrestle? Like, let's not jump the gun on some things. Like, let's relax.
Yeah. C. Delgado says no rope breaks, only when it helps Punk screw Drew.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Yeah, that's how that works. I forgot about that. So we got a few more here. DNC Digital says, just like when Vince couldn't book H's kids, I feel like there are examples of H not being able to book Shawn's kids. That can also be me being impatient. They should just have a plan for them. I don't care if the plan is for them to come up and go on a losing streak to start their career before they right the ship. They got to have a plan. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what they're like. They have to have nothing for them is inexcusable.
Yeah. People don't, they'd be like if I was applying for jobs and I got hired somewhere and they were like, we haven't quite figured out what your responsibilities at this job are. Like you need to have a creative or if they were like, Alex, we've hired you as an actor on this television show, but we don't so much know any of your dialogue or character traits.
Yeah. Apple Jam Treebeard says that 9.6 is way too damn high. It would have said something like a 7.9 to 8.4 range. Money in the Bank was rated like a 4.6 or something. I think it's up to 5.6 now.
It was not good. Like Money in the Bank was not good.
Yeah.
But I feel like 8.5 is the highest I would put it at.
Yeah,
7.8 is the lowest I would put it at. You would put it at a negative 472.
I would have put it at like a 5. Just basically everything's a wash because of some of the bad booking. Oba Femi winning puts it up to a 7, like a 6.8, not a 6.9 because it's not nice. Like a 6.8 because Oba Femi won.
In a match that was nice.
Leonza Duncan says, how far along do you think Sol Ruca would be if she didn't tear her ACL and miss an entire year? Because it seems like she came a long way already in like a year. Yes. It is kind of funny. They were like, both of these women have basically been wrestling for 12 months. I'm like, no, because Sol was out for like 9.
Yeah.
So like Vic Joseph, you are not telling the truth here. Like
Vic
she was
Joseph
out for a long friggin' time.
Absolutely killed me today when Booker T goes, I like Riley Osborne, and he was like, you did 2 weeks ago. Full on go since when?
It's true. Will Chisholm says, I think one of the spots they should have done yesterday was Randy Orton punts Jacob Fatu, but Jacob no-sells it. I mean, there's still time. Jacob Fatu is going to get a one-on-one match with Kevin Owens. He's going to beat the hell out of him. He's going to get a one-on-one match with Randy Orton. He's going to beat the hell out of him. Those are the 2 things that are going to happen. So maybe they'll put that in there with a Randy Orton match.
I want Jacob Fatu versus Will Ospreay and them just no-selling everything and everybody on the internet having a meltdown. It would sustain the power grid for decades.
Okay, so we got some more here.
Oh, thank you.
Tim McFowle says hashtag get Corey on the show. I think it's a bit late now. He's probably asleep.
He's probably asleep.
The John Black says Alex and Kate putting on a pro wrestling literacy masterclass tonight. Well done, Graps. Well, thank you, the John Black. We love the John Black.
We love the John Black. Also, sorry for the pretentious music lesson, but now you guys are smarter for it.
Alex Ramirez says, I missed Get the Flick Out of Here. Well, listen.
Oh.
Maybe we'll do another episode of This Is Cinema on Fightful Select, like in a week or so. I don't know. Maybe if you're lucky.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do another one of those.
You've got some fun chaos coming your way.
I
we'll
do.
See what's going on.
We will see what happens. Apple Jam Treebeard says the people win, Kate. It's the people who win. It must have been like a thing. And who wins? And then I think that was a response to that, but I didn't see it in time, so I don't know what he's talking about.
The people always win because they got to watch wrestling.
Matthew Hook says Kate killed the promo read. Thanks for the love.
Oh, I was gonna say that could go one or 2 ways. Kate killed the promo read. Could have been good. Could have been bad.
Apparently, Tim says he sent the chat when Corey was on the chat. Was Corey in the chat? I missed Corey in the chat. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't see Corey was in the chat. Well, he can't even tell us who produced the main event. What the hell was he going to come in here? Just come in and go caw to my face about Laria Valkyria? What was he going to do?
Probably FightfulSelect.com will have that for you tomorrow, would be my guess, your producer list. But listen, I called him a coward. He hasn't shown up in a while. I think I'm just right.
I guess
he has to log in. He can pop onto the show.
He can absolutely pop onto the show. But again, I don't know what he was going to tell us, considering he did not have the information of who produced the
get the scoop skis.
Get the scoop.
Or
bring scoops or don't come on the show at all.
At all. Coward.
Wayne, listen, I
I wish I knew the answer to that, because if I did, I would know who to send my hate mail to. Who produced the main event? Then I would be able to know who I could send my hate mail to. I'm sorry, Leons and Duncan. I want to know this answer almost as much as you do, I promise.
Do you think it was Robert Stone or Stevie Turner as like Ava's assistant? They were like, I got it.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna pull up this chat because it's nice about me. I've only been here for 4 minutes and I love Kate's personality. Thank you so much. Flattery will get you everywhere. Seriously, if you're new to Sour Grabs, we have a lot of fun. Hang out with us every Tuesday. We are extremely silly and what do you say? Constructively hypercritical.
Constructively hypercritical.
We have a lot of fun though. If you're new around here, please join us on Tuesdays and on FightfulSelect.com. Your compliments.
Wayne Buck says, I'd like to donate to the Kate Elizabeth Naughty Segway Development Fund.
I had to keep them on their toes.
Mhm.
Normally they're very like metaphorical and extended. Tonight I was like getting right into them.
Mhm.
Segways out of nowhere, like RKO's, baby.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says, I'm so happy you guys like the logo. Kate's been deserving of grapedom for a while.
The logo?
There we go. The logo. This logo. This new
You mean
logo.
this logo?
This logo. See,
I
it's
love
just
my hearing so much in
yeah.
my snarl. And
it's
your
so good.
facial expression, you've made
Mhm.
that face before.
So many times. So many times. It's true. It's great. I love it.
We're so pretty.
We are. But cantankerous cartoon form. That's great. Is this, Lieutenant Colonel says, overall good wrestling, so much better than commercials in the bank. Yes, way better than commercials in the bank.
Commercials in the bank.
Yeah. Riho revealed that she fractured her arm yesterday, so everything sucks.
Poor Rico.
Poor Riho.
I guess the Lady Frost match that I heard was so good. Damn.
I guess it must have been during that. That's too bad. Okay, a few more heat puns and then one jukebox and we're out.
Okay.
Kim Gray says John Incinerator. Feeling Dreepy says Kelvin Owens.
Kelvin Owens.
Meet Norma says BBQR code. Bam Bam Bigelow pressure system.
Very nice.
The perfect Tony Storm.
Very nice.
Humiditygan Knox. It's not the heat. It's not the heat. It's the Humiditygan.
Knox that gets
It's the
you.
Humiditygan. It's the humidity. It's always the Humiditygan.
Oh.
Also, I don't know if you're in the chat, but somebody sent something right as we were leaving yesterday. Cardwiz, are you around? Probably not.
Yes, he is. Look.
Is Cardwiz there?
Yeah, look right here on the Twitch.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Sorry we missed your thing.
May I propose a collision of blind? 2 true, 1 false. You haven't watched yet. So
I haven't watched yet.
So this is it for you, okay? So two are true and 1 is a lie. Here we go.
I'm doing Britt Baker.
Claudio and the Beast Mortos wrecked a cameraman and camera. Kip Sabian asked Killswitch if he could join the patriarchy, and it went poorly. Number 3, Jeff Jarrett stole some of Hangman's clothes.
Okay, the first one was true because I saw it. And I also think it's very fun that Claudio has long-term storytelling with the cameraman since everyone thought he was the cameraman. I'm going to say, man, Jeff Jarrett stealing Hangman's clothes feels on par with how angry Hangman was, but I'm going to say that Kip Sabian was the other truth.
I don't know. Honestly, I didn't see it either. So.
Oh, well, I thought... You ruined the bit!
I don't know. I was hoping somebody on the chat would know. The only part of it I've seen is the MJF promo. That's all I was saying.
Jeff Jarrett stole Hangman's belt. That's very funny. Good for him.
All right. Good. Okay, so Bad Apple Jam Tree Beard.
says, in honor of friend Nastics, Ricky Rainbow to sing "Why Can't We Be Friends?" The original one, not the Smash Mouth one. Here we go. Why can't we be friends? 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 I've seen you round for a long, long time.
Oh no. Did it Alex freeze or is it me? Chat, did Alex freeze or was it me? Alex froze. Oh no. Oh my gosh, my internet connection held up. I'm so flattered. Thanks, Optimum. I'll do a Ricky Rainbow impression, but I don't have the wig. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Oh, there you are.
I don't know what happened. I must have died.
It's okay. It was probably from the drugs.
It's probably from the ads on this damn ad.
Lyric
Why can't
thing?
we be friends by war? Right? Yeah. Hold on. Gonna bring this over here so I can read it, and then minimize that, and I'm back. Right. That was weird. Okay. So as we were saying, why can't we be friends? 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 I've seen you walking down in Chinatown. I called you, but you could not look around. Why can't we be friends? 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 I paid my money to the welfare line, Daddy. I see you standing in it every time, baby. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends, Daddy? Why can't we be friends? The color of your skin don't matter to me. Ow! As long as we can live in harmony. Why can't we be friends? 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 Why can't we be friends, Daddy? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? And so it goes on like that. All right. Well, I'm being called back to the great beyond. Bye.
Bye, Dusty.
What happened?
Oh, so much. I'll catch you up offline.
Oh my goodness. Crazy. Just the worst. All right, is that it? I think that's it.
I think
that's all we got. I think it's all we got. Hold
everything.
on. Well, is everything on the? I mean, I think. Hold on. Wait. I just want to make sure. Oh, dang it.
Adam Legend. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm just gonna explain because we have some more people watching than normally watch. We have a part of the show that goes through extremely constructive hypercritical analysis of the professional wrestling program that we have. We also have a karaoke wheel of impressions and puns and a lot of bits. So if you like to get sour, but you also are extremely silly and prefer a review show that's kind of a variety hour, join us every Tuesday. We're extremely silly. We have so much fun. And we get sour about wrestling. So hang out with us. We appreciate you joining us tonight. But what you showed up to is the real silly part of the show.
It always comes at the end. So if you're only here for the constructive hypercriticism, then you can be here. And when we start putting on wigs and doing silly voices, you can leave.
You can peace out.
J. Adam B. Farm, what a guy! Thank you so much. That's it. That's it. All right.
We need more cult members. I love you guys.
It was incredible. We'll be back definitely. Thank you, Adam Legend. You are a legend.
You are.
We appreciate it. We got to convert.
to Lash Legend. I have questions
We have to convert new followers
to the Church
of our weird cult called the Sour Grap Society, and we're so glad that you're one of them. Until then, Kate left. Everything sucks. See you later.